Well, the IEC has successfully wrapped up 2 days of special voting over the weekend, with the majority of special voters making their mark. So today, more than 23,000 voting stations will be open from 7 o'clock this morning. They'll stay open until 9 in the evening, giving the voting process about 14 hours. A new feature in this election will no doubt be the voter management devices, which is designed to improve efficiency at all voting stations. Let's bring in Mawethu Mosery, who joins us now for more on the story. He's the IEC's Deputy Chief Electoral Officer. Mawethu, it's great to have you with us this morning on the program. Thanks very much for joining us on what I'm sure is an incredibly busy day for you. Just an hour, less than an hour to go until voting stations open around the country. Shall we begin with the issue of special ballots over the weekend? I understand 83% of those who registered for the special vote actually went and cast their vote.
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. Indeed, it is that day we've been waiting for the last 40 to 50 days. It has arrived. Let's go out there and vote. We are quite pleased with the response of special votes, one from the application side where we had 1.1 million applicants. But then we were able to reach as many of those 1.1 million people in the 2 days. Particularly the home visits are quite satisfying in terms of the numbers and the percentages that we received. So we're pleased with the response of the South African voters on this one.
Yeah. So a new feature for these elections will no doubt be the voter management devices. It's the first time we're testing this at a mass scale during the upcoming voter registration weekend. That was the first time. Tell us more about what it means for these elections.
Well, the VMD, we definitely are excited about it and its use in this election, and also whether it will hold for all the specs that we have put into it, as well as the applications that we have in it. Obviously, we have applications that help us manage the election materials, the applications that help us manage the voters' roll, which is the most important one, but more importantly for when we go to future elections. For this election, it will assist us to check the voters' roll very quickly, and also with our COVID environment, we want voters to spend very little time at the voting station, and this device will assist us a great deal in doing so. But also from a national operations management, we are able to see the voter turnout as we go during the day. We are able to see these voting stations that are now operational by just connecting with the VMD. So we are quite pleased with its inclusion.
Yeah, so you, it will check whether you are registered in the correct district. It will then allow you into the voting station if indeed you are at the correct voting station. It also means that you're unable to vote twice. That's also part of what the VMD does.
Although for local government, the voting twice is unlikely, because you vote where your name appears on the voters' roll. That's very important for all voters. Do not just go to the nearest voting station. Go to where your name appears on the voters' roll, where you registered. And the VMD will assist you to confirm that. And it will also assist us in maintaining the numbers of our materials at voting stations. And then one more important thing, there are people whose names got onto the voters' roll after the voters' roll was certified, and those people vote with an application we call MEC 7, which means you are allowed to vote even if you do not appear on the valid voters' roll, as long as you are in this pre-approved list that is on the VMD. So it will assist us to collect also the details of those voters and process them very quickly. Third thing is that it will also assist us with the people who have not provided an address. You would know that we still in the country are looking for plus minus 1.2 million people who who have not given us an address since 2016. So the VMD will be of good use in collecting those addresses.
I mean, we've been promised no load shedding today, but we've just come from a couple of weeks of rolling blackouts. Is this something that could impact the working of the VMD, if indeed it does happen that we have power cuts in some areas?
No, it should not affect the VMD. The VMD is also on direct power from the batteries. We have supplied it with 2 batteries, which could last easily a total of about 24 hours without having to be plugged onto power. Power is an interest of ours in terms of the late hours of voting, as well as the count, but also for security, the outside lighting at all voting stations. Power is very important for that.
Yeah.
And we are assured by ESCOM, and judging by yesterday, power is holding in the country. That's encouraging. We're looking forward for a smooth day and a good day.
Yeah. Mawethu, in terms of voter turnout, I mean, record lows are what we are expecting in terms of voter turnout. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but 13 million, that's the number I have for people who were eligible to vote in these elections, who actually haven't even registered to vote. What are some of the IEC's own projections in terms of those numbers for these polls?
Your numbers are pretty accurate. We have 26.6 million on the voters roll. The census estimates indicate to us there should be about 32 million South Africans who are on the voters roll. So there's a good number there that are missing. In terms of the voter turnout itself, last election 2016 was at about 57.8%, which has been a growing trend for local government elections. And we hope that South Africans will continue on that trend. But also, remember, we have a duty as a commission to encourage and motivate voters to go out there. We've done that bit, but also sharing with them the aspects of why is it important for them to go out and vote. We've done that. But added to that, to improve our voter turnout, is the campaigns by political parties and candidates to encourage people to come out and vote for them. To the extent that those manifestos have been attractive to voters, we may see a larger participation of voters, or we will remain the same. Yes, we will not be too excited if we go below the 57.8% of the last general election in local government.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you say, busy day for you. The IEC has been gearing up for the last 40-odd days, preparing for these local government elections. I mean, you've had much less time ordinarily, given the issues in court, given the decision in the Constitutional Court. Where will you be today, Mawethu, in the country as we go to the polls?
At least we are in good space for the past 2 weeks, when most of the litigation that was in court was settled. We did have one more litigation, a court case taking place this week and last week, and therefore we hope now that most of those are settled, it is more about what happens today at the voting stations, and probably one or two odd incidents, probably with the count, that would worry us the most. So the focus is really on the operation and making sure that as the Electoral Commission, we do not falter at all. In terms of our 23,000 voting stations, it is indeed a professional and then open, transparent process that we manage and run.
Mawethu, let me thank you for your time. He's the IEC's Deputy Chief Electoral Officer, Mawethu Mosery, joining us there ahead of Election Day. And of course, it's going to be a busy day for the IEC, and we wish them a very smooth Election Day, the 1st of November.